Hey guys, it's Scottlovesthelord. Sorry I haven't been making videos lately, but for those of you who don't know, my world history teacher resigned from my school, and he was actually one of the greatest teachers there, but Mr. Roberts is gone, and it's been really stressful lately for me to make videos, but this video is dedicated to you, Mr. Roberts, who is our world history teacher. It was supposed to be our NHD project, and yeah, for those of you who don't know who NHD is, it's National History Day. We just make a project, and yeah, yeah, this one's for you, Mr. Roberts. Enjoy.
Hello, and thank you for coming. We are proud to present a documentary on the man who's counted to infinity twice. He is the man, the myth, the legend. What do we make of Chuck Norris?
He fought his first battle on March 10th, 1940, when he entered the world as Carlos Ray Norris in the tiny community of Ryan, Oklahoma, the eldest son of Ray and Wilma Norris. Within a few years, brothers Wyland and Aaron came along and the family was complete.
He started to help raise his family at the age of 12 when they moved to the west of Los Angeles suburbs of Torrance after his parents had divorced.
He graduated from high school in 1958. After graduating, he married his girlfriend Diane Holchak and joined the United States Air Force. He was stationed in South Korea, and during his stint, he began studying the Asian martial art of Tang Soo Do. It was there that he also picked up the nickname Chuck.
This interest in Tang Soo Do would help him acquire black belts. It was this style that he would create his own martial arts to be based on this with various other styles of martial arts. This would be known as Chun Kuk Do, which means the universal way.
He returned to California to work for the Northrop Corporation after being discharged in 1962. He continued to hone on his martial arts skills as a part-time karate instructor. Eventually, he built up a substantial enough of clients to allow him to quit his job after 2 years. He opened up a studio and taught karate full-time.
Since he was training in LA, it was natural that he got celebrity clients such as Steve McQueen, Priscilla Presley, and Donnie Marie Osmond. Even though he was starting to enter the competition circuit for martial arts, Steve McQueen suggested that he give acting a try.
He began taking lessons from Jonathan Harris, who would put his finger in Chuck Norris's mouth and stretch his mouth wide open to teach him how to talk. Chuck actually named him as the only man in the world who could get away with doing this. As these classes were going on, Chuck would continue to rack up martial arts titles. Between 1965 and his retirement in 1970, he took no fewer than 9 international martial arts titles and created an amazing fight record of 65-5.
By the age of 34, he had earned a black belt in Tang Soo Do and Taekwondo, and had familiarized himself with the westernized version of Tang Soo Do called American Tang Soo Do. He also owned 32 karate schools at this point in his life.
When 1970 arrived, Chuck Norris had finally made both his television and movie debuts in the Dean Martin movie The Wrecking Crew in 1969, and the television series Room 222 in 1970. He then appeared as Bruce Lee's enemy in The Return of the Dragon in 1973.
Throughout the movie, they seemed very friendly, but when they were alone, they seemed very competitive, each believing they were better than the other. In fact, Chuck Norris calls Bruce Lee his greatest sparring partner. This feud went on between them and still goes on today between fans. And unfortunately, with the death of Bruce Lee soon after, we will never know who's better.
He was able to use his martial art abilities early in his acting career, which helped him tremendously earn roles in the 1970s and 80s. In 1977, he got his first starring role in Breaker Breaker. This was followed by An Eye for an Eye in 1981, and Lone Wolf McCade in 1983. They were all hard-punching action movies that packed a roundhouse kick to the face at the box office. These movies were what established him as an action star.
In his acting career, he wanted to follow in the footsteps of his childhood idol, John Wayne. He turned down many roles, including playing the role of Sensei John Kreese in The Karate Kid, because he didn't want his name to be associated with cruel characters and would want to showcase his skills as a good guy. Return of the Dragon was his only role as the bad guy.
He was the main action star through most of the 80s, starring in such movies as The Octagon in 1980, Silent Rage and Force Vengeance in 1982, Invasion USA in 1985, the Missing in Action trilogy, as well as countless others. Around the end of the decade, Chuck started to lose some flair in his movies when newcomers such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Steven Seagal started to slowly eat away at the action pie.
Around this time, Chuck's marriage with his wife, Diane, ended after 30 years of being together. They had 3 children, their first son, Mike, born in 1963. Their daughter, Deanna, was born the following year, and their second son, Eric, in 1965. Mike would follow in his father's footsteps and played a role with his father in the 1991's Delta Force 3.
The 80s had ended and Chuck's movies were at an all-time low. Having already written 2 books, he had only one place to go. In 1993, the beginning of a new era begun that brought Chuck all the way to the top of television stardom. Walker, Texas Ranger was a series on a modern-day Western hero that didn't only serve justice with a badge and a gun, but with his fists and feet. The show lasted an outstanding 8 seasons and was a top-rated series that abruptly ended in 2001.
In 1998, he got remarried to a former model, Gina O'Kelly, who was much younger than him. She had 2 kids already from her first marriage. Chuck became a father for the 4th time in 2001 when Gina delivered fraternal twins Dakota and Danny Lee Norris. He also had 3 grandchildren up to that point.
In 1997, Chuck became the first Westerner to earn a black belt in Taekwondo. After Walker, Texas Ranger ended, he kept himself busy as the founder and president of the United Fighting Arts Federation, which now holds over 2,300 black belts from all over the world. Wanting to be remembered as a humanitarian, he became a spokesperson for many organizations, such as the United Way, the Veterans Administration, and many others. He's also participated in the Make-A-Wish Foundation every year for the past 20 years.
Chuck Norris considers his biggest accomplishment to be the Kickstart program, which is a non-profit organization to fight drug use and violence in America's high schools. With the help of George W. Bush, it was made possible. In the beginning, it implemented a program to teach martial arts to 150 high-risk students and was so successful that they expanded it, and are now teaching to over 4,200 students in around 30 high schools. It now teaches kids respect and gives them more self-esteem and the courage to get out of gangs. It is constantly growing every year and is central in Houston and Dallas, Texas.
As said earlier, Chungkukdo was Chuck's own style that he created. As many other styles, Chungkukdo had a code of honor that people were to live by. The rules were: 1. I will develop myself to the maximum of my potential in all ways. 2. I will forget the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements. 3. I will continually work at developing love, happiness, and loyalty in my family. 4. I will look for the good in all people and make them feel worthwhile. 5. If I had nothing good to say about a person, I will say nothing. 6. I will always be as enthusiastic about the success of others as I am about my own. 7. I will maintain an attitude of open-mindedness. 8. I will maintain respect of those in authority and demonstrate this respect at all times. 9. I will always remain loyal to God, my country, family, and my friends. 10. I will remain highly goal-oriented throughout my life because the positivity attitude helps my family and country and myself.
In 2005, something happened that would transform Chuck Norris's world forever. Ian Spector was a man who likes to make jokes on the internet about celebrities. He made a poll on who to get next, and the people had voted Chuck Norris. The Chuck Norris facts were born. There are satirical jokes, and there are a lot of hype behind these facts, and Ian thinks they will end soon. Here are a couple of the greatest jokes. When the boogeyman goes to sleep every night, he checks his closet for Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris does not sleep, he waits. There is no chin behind Chuck Norris's beard, there's only another fist. Chuck Norris doesn't wear a watch, he decides what time it is. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. Kids wear Superman pajamas, and Superman wears Chuck Norris pajamas.
Through this documentary, you've seen the accomplishments Chuck Norris has made through his lifetime. A year ago, he was endorsing Mike Huckabee while he was on the campaign trail for president, and he is also endorsing the Total Gym nowadays, and is a sponsor for an organization that is trying to bring Bible studies as an elective to schools everywhere. As you can see, Chuck Norris is a man that you don't want to mess with. Thank you for watching.